The last passenger, Adrian Blackwood, had been driving the same city bus for almost 12 years. Every evening, he followed the same route through the quiet streets of Ashmore. He greeted the same passengers, stopped at the same bus stops, and watched the city slowly fall asleep. His colleagues often joked that Adrian's life was as predictable as the timetable hanging inside his bus. Perhaps they were right. At 34, Adrian lived alone in a small apartment overlooking the railway station. His parents had passed away years earlier, and the only company he had was an old black cat named Midnight. Life was peaceful, maybe too peaceful. Everything changed on a rainy Thursday night. It was exactly 11:47 p.m. The streets were almost empty. Adrian stopped at Willow Bridge, his second to last stop before returning to the bus depot. The doors opened. A single passenger stepped aboard. He was tall and dressed entirely in black. A long black coat, black gloves, black shoes. Even his umbrella was black. His face remained hidden beneath a wide-brimmed hat. Without saying a word, he handed Adrian an old silver coin instead of a bus ticket. "I'm sorry," Adrian said politely. "We only accept cards or cash." The stranger slowly looked up. His pale gray eyes seemed almost impossible to describe. "You won't need money where this journey ends," he whispered. A chill ran down Adrian's spine. Before Adrian could reply, the man walked silently toward the last seat on the bus. No other passengers seemed to notice him. At the final stop, Adrian parked the bus and turned around. The last seat was empty. The man had vanished. The doors had never opened. The security alarm had never sounded. Confused, Adrian searched every corner of the bus. Nothing. Only the old silver coin remained on the floor. He picked it up. It felt strangely warm. The following night, 11:47 p.m., the stranger returned. This time, Adrian watched him carefully in the mirror. He never moved. He simply sat perfectly still until the journey ended. Again, he disappeared. No footsteps, no sound, nothing. When Adrian told his supervisor the next morning, everyone laughed. "Too many late shifts," one mechanic joked. "You need a vacation." Adrian forced a smile, but inside he knew something was terribly wrong. 3 nights later, the mysterious passenger left something behind. A worn leather notebook. Its pages were yellow with age. There was no title, no author's name. Only one sentence on the first page. "The route always knows." The second page contained a newspaper article dated 5 years in the future. A bridge had collapsed. 27 people had died. Adrian frowned. The article looked real. Photographs, names, everything. He laughed nervously. Someone was playing an elaborate prank. The next morning, while driving home after work, he heard breaking news on the radio. Engineers had discovered dangerous cracks in Willow Bridge. It was immediately closed. Exactly the bridge shown in the newspaper article. Adrian nearly drove off the road. The notebook contained more predictions: a famous singer's disappearance, a fire in the city museum, a train accident. Over the next month, every single prediction came true. Not one failed. Adrian stopped sleeping. He stopped eating properly. He began checking the notebook every day. Sometimes it saved lives. One page predicted an apartment explosion. Adrian anonymously warned the police. The building was evacuated just hours before a gas leak destroyed it. 24 families survived. Yet Adrian could tell no one. How could he explain? "I found it in a magical notebook left by a disappearing passenger." Nobody would believe him. Then One page appeared blank. Slowly, letters began writing themselves across the paper, as if an invisible hand held the pen. Adrian watched in horror. Do not trust Elias Wren. The name meant nothing. 2 days later, a new bus driver joined the company. His name was Elias Wren. Friendly, funny, helpful. Everyone liked him immediately, except Adrian. Whenever Elias smiled, Adrian remembered the notebook. Weeks passed. One evening, Adrian noticed Elias secretly searching inside his bus after every shift. "What are you looking for?" Adrian asked. Elias smiled, "Just making sure nothing gets left behind." His answer sounded ordinary. His eyes did not. The stranger continued riding every night, always silent, always the last passenger. Finally, Adrian gathered enough courage. "Who are you?" he asked. The man looked out the rain-covered window. "I am only the messenger." "For what?" "For the final journey." Then he stood. As the bus passed through Blackwood Tunnel, every light went out. Complete darkness. When the lights returned, the stranger was gone, but another page had appeared inside the notebook. This one contained only 3 words: "Find Platform 9." Ashmore Station had 8 platforms. No Platform 9 existed, or so Adrian believed. One retired station worker quietly told him a forgotten story. "There used to be a 9th platform," the old man whispered. "It closed nearly 60 years ago." "Why?" "There was an accident." "What kind?" The old man's face turned pale. "A bus drove onto the railway tracks during heavy fog." "How many people died?" "Every passenger." "And the driver?" "He disappeared." Adrian discovered old photographs in the town archives. His heart almost stopped. The driver looked exactly like him. The same face, the same eyes. Impossible. The accident had happened decades before Adrian had even been born. That evening, the notebook revealed its final page. It read, 11:47 p.m. tomorrow, Platform 9, do not be late. The next night, fog covered the city. Adrian drove his empty bus toward the abandoned railway yard. Hidden behind thick bushes stood an old sign, Platform 9. The stranger was waiting. "So this is the end?" Adrian asked quietly. "No," the man replied. "It is the beginning." Suddenly, dozens of old buses emerged from the fog. Each carried glowing headlights. Inside, every bus sat silent passengers. Some wore clothes from the 1950s, others from the 1980s. Some looked almost modern. Every driver looked frightened. Then Adrian noticed something impossible. One of the buses was his own. Inside, another Adrian sat behind the steering wheel. Their eyes met. The other Adrian smiled sadly. "I waited 12 years for you," he said. "What does this mean?" The stranger stepped forward. "There must always be a last passenger. A guardian who receives the notebook. A driver who protects those whose time has not yet come." "You've been saving lives," Adrian whispered. "Yes, but every guardian eventually becomes the passenger." Adrian slowly understood. The mysterious stranger had once been the bus driver before him. The notebook was never predicting the future. It was giving each guardian one final chance to change it. The stranger handed Adrian the familiar silver coin. "It belongs to you now." "What if I refuse?" You already accepted. When? The night you picked up the coin. The fog thickened. One by one, the ghostly buses disappeared into the darkness. The stranger climbed aboard Adrian's bus for the final time. He walked silently to the last seat, exactly as he always had. The doors closed. When Adrian looked in the mirror, the last seat was occupied. Not by the stranger, but by himself. Standing outside the bus, he watched another Adrian start the engine. The bus slowly pulled away into the mist. The new driver looked toward the mirror, then smiled, exactly as Adrian always had. The next morning, bus route 17 began its usual schedule. Nothing seemed different. Passengers laughed, children waved, the city woke up, and every night, at exactly 11:47 p.m., a mysterious passenger dressed in black quietly boarded the last bus. He always sat in the final seat, and nobody ever remembered seeing him get off.